Next, we're going to talk about is interview etiquettes, basically interview manners. The very first thing that you need to remember is, please remember that entire place belongs to the interviewer. It's his domain. So like what you do if you go to somebody else's place for the first time, what do? If you go to somebody else's place, and as a kid, when you did that, you went to a friend's place, you would just pick up the comic, or you would just pick up things from his room just like that without even asking. I'm sure you did not do that. So here also, please remember the entire place, everything there belongs. With this mindset, you have to go that everything in the interview room belongs to the interviewer. So if it belongs to him for everything that you have to use, please make sure that you ask for permission. Now, the only thing that is available for you for free out there is when your turn comes to speak, you can speak freely and you can breathe freely. Even time does not belong to you. So please remember, whenever you have to take time for answering a certain question, there might be questions where you need to ponder. So when you're taking time to even think for an answer, please make a statement like, "Sir, can I take 2 minutes to think about a very good answer?" You could always do that because time also belongs to him. The next thing, please address appropriately. I'm sure once you become a little experienced with interviews, you would know how to address. But as of now, being a first timer, please make sure you always use appropriate titles like sir and ma'am. Nothing else. The third thing is, please make sure that you acknowledge every statement that he makes, every question that he asks. You need to give a response back, either in the form of an answer or in form of some acknowledgement. Yes, sir. Okay. Sure. Avoid using paralanguage. That's another thing we would cover when we're talking about communication skills in details. But as of now, make sure that you acknowledge every response that you get from the interviewer. The next point is, avoid using, when you use the statement, "I don't know," in an interview, what really happens is you're not just saying "I don't know." To that person, you're actually saying "I don't know and I don't care." So instead of using this strong sentence, because it shows a demeaning, it's a very demeaning statement in which it shows that you are careless. It's not that you're careful. It does not portray that kind of behavior of yours. So instead of that, you could use a replacing statement like, "I'm sorry, I'm not aware of it." You could say something like that, which is a little softer and does not give a negative preview about you. The next things, next 2 pointers that you need to take care of when you are behaving in an interview is, of course, it comes under your communication skills, which would be grooming, very appropriate. It has to be. As of now, it should be formal. Now, if most of you are who are confused as to what formal is, we will cover it detailed when we're talking about communication skills. But as of now, a formal should be a kind of dress that does not show a negative behavior in any form. So it has to be well ironed, the right color, it has to be covered properly, the fitting has to be appropriate. If it's a guy, then you wear the right shirt, the right tie, a trouser, a complementary colored trouser, and the right shoes and the socks. But for female, it could be depending on the kind of persona you have. If it's a lady, you can wear a sari. Sari is very formal these days. And it also depends on the industry. You might have to wear Western formals, which we would talk about in details when we are talking about communication skills. So grooming has to be appropriate. And the next thing that is there is your body language, the way you sit, the way you use your hands, the way you talk, the way you stand, the way you leave the room, the way you enter the room. These things are also important, which we would talk about. It has to be very formal and it has to be respectful. So we will talk about these in detail, but as of now, interview etiquettes and manners, these are the pointers that you need to know.